spectacular, stunning, and breathtaking. The Dolomites are mountains in the northern Italian Alps and feature some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. Alta Via, or High Route, is the name given to a multi-day, high-altitude, hut-to-hut alpine path, traversing the Dolomites from north to south. The Alta Via are some of the most breathtaking, challenging, multi-day trails in this mountainous wonderland. After completing my MBA at INSEAD, I could not return to India due to COVID travel restrictions. Towards the end of June, I went climbing in Sicily with my batchmates and then headed for a solo trek in the Dolomites. I chose the Alta Via 4, a route passing through one of the iconic parts of the Dolomites. Some sections of the Alta Via comprise of Via Ferrata, which literally translates as the Iron Way or Iron Path. These Via Ferrata, which run throughout the Dolomites, incorporate a system of iron ladders and cables bolted to the rock face to assist hikers on steep mountainous terrain. These trails, originally built and used by soldiers during World War I, are an exhilarating way to access spectacular mountain terrain. You clip yourself to the cable by special Via Ferrata bungee cords and climb up the vertical faces. In case of a fall, you are arrested by the cord and can fall a maximum of a few meters. Using the Via Ferrata, one can scale extremely vertical rock faces with ease and ascend to otherwise unreachable locations high up in the mountains. This particular Via Ferrata was called the Torre di Toblin, and it was on my second day of the trek. The view from the top was marvelous, and I could see the Tre Cime mountains and Rifugio Locatelli from the top. A climb well worth it. Despite predictions of thunderstorms, I was lucky to get excellent weather on most days. Clouds came and went in the morning, and the day was pretty clear by the time I reached the next refugio. It sometimes rained in the evenings, which made it a perfect setting for a hot soup before dinner. Hiking solo meant not seeing a person for hours together and walking in complete silence for the entire time. But it also meant taking breaks whenever I wanted and most importantly, flying the drone whenever I wanted. The Dolomites were a perfect playground to fly my drone around. Peaks, valleys, lakes and forests, the Dolomites had it all. Along the Alta Via, I stayed in refugios or mountain huts, which are run and managed by localites. At the end of each day, I knew there was a hot meal and bed waiting for me. These refugios were located at spectacular locations amidst the mountains. Although I was hiking solo, I met several hikers during my stays in the refugios. The owners and caretakers were extremely friendly and always had stories and tips to tell. COVID did affect their business this season, but they took care of all precautions inside the mountain huts to ensure social distancing. The meals were heavy, fatty, and delicious. A half board, which includes dinner, breakfast, and the overnight stay, costed around €60 a night. Refuge of Fonda Savia was nestled in the mountains and had the most amazing sunset views. Along the route, I spent an extra day in some refugios and did a couple of single-day via ferratas, like the one here to Chima Kadin. I left early after breakfast and was back to the refugio by lunch. The climb to the Chima Kadin was arduous, with long sections of ladders. The view from the top was, as usual, spectacular. Descending the Via Ferrata is in a similar fashion, except it's quite tricky to see your foothold sometimes. And looking down all the time into the valley below can send your head into a real spin. My everyday routine was pretty set. I woke up at 6, had breakfast at 7, and left the refugio at 8. I walked for about 5 to 6 hours every day on an average and made it to the next mountain hut for lunch. I spent the afternoon reading a book and watched the sunset in the evening. Dinner was at around 7 and I went to bed by 9, tired and ready to hit the bed in my sleeping bag. Refugio called Devadra, I had my first bath in 5 days in the world's tiniest shower cubicle. I set off for an evening walk with the hot dog Jack, a 7-month-old cute white furball who was notorious to follow hikers for many kilometers and had to be brought back. We sat staring at a beautiful panoramic view of the surrounding mountain ranges. The Altavias and most of the routes in the Dolomites are very well marked. Each intersection had directions, distances, and estimated times to reach the destinations. Apart from that, I used GPS based tobacco maps, which were spot on in guiding me along the Altavia. There was very little chance of me getting lost with these maps, and I could plan my route at the start of every day with ease. Just 5 minutes from Refugio Vandelli hid another jewel along the Alta Via, the Lake Sorapis. With its iconic turquoise blue color coming from the glacier dust, the lake looked unreal and out of this world. On my 7th day, I had to cross Via Ferrata Vandelli, a full-blown Via Ferrata with ladders, cables and chimneys, which took a good couple of hours to cross. The view of Lake Sorapis from the top was beautiful, and I was lucky to spot an ibex too. The final day was the toughest. Long walks through never ending moraine and a tough Via Ferrata, which was cut in some parts. Turned out, I was the first to open the Alta Via 4 route that season. At the top of the pass, all in all, the 9 days of hiking solo in the Dolomites was an amazing experience. I was lucky to have excellent weather on all days, and the combination of hiking, Via Ferrata, and cozy mountain huts were only surpassed by the discovery of incredible vistas that were seen around every corner.